Hello there. My name is Jack Kappa, and it's really great to be joining you. I wanted to talk pretty briefly today about my experience with OpenAQ as an organization, and one little app that I put together that I would love to present as potential inspiration for some of the cool things that you can do with OpenAQ as an organization, the data and platforms that they provide, and then some quick thoughts overall on my experience with air quality and some really cool things I think that it's possible for us to do going forward. So, if it's okay, let's dive in. So we'll visit the app at cityaq.com. Is how you can get to that from any desktop or mobile device. And here we're viewing it kind of how it'll look on mobile. So you get there and there's a bit of an intro here at the bottom explaining what is cityAQ for. It's comparing air qualities for cities. So let's start just by clicking in here, and we already see there are some cities available. Let's start with Nairobi. So we type it out, we get some auto suggestion based on all the cities that OpenAQ has as a list of where we have information available from, so that we know that Nairobi is one of them. And we click on it and we'll see the most recent data. So we see already the AQI is 19, and we can easily see it's color-coded green, so the air in Kenya at the moment is quite good. And we can expand to see which pollutants currently are being measured, and we know it's PM10, PM2.5. I did Chinese and environmental studies, so one that I'm always interested in and that I find myself looking up is Shanghai, which is obviously not nearly as good as the air quality in Nairobi at the moment, or at least from what we're measuring. Shanghai only has PM2.5 that we're capturing right now. And let's take a look at one more, which India obviously also has a lot of cities that tend to have difficulties with air quality, so we can take a look at Mumbai, which is actually doing better than Shanghai right now. And this is what it looks like when we have a lot more information or a lot more data points that are being collected. So that's an example of taking a look at three, and just very quickly you can hopefully see that it's easy to compare what's going on right now across those three cities. Reset our favorites, so now these are no longer favorites. In terms of, cool, so we're going to open up Chrome, which is just a browser, and we're going to type in the same address that we looked at, cityAQ. And because this is on Android, right when we view it, and because of the functionality that we were able to add, it's called a progressive web app, but it basically means that this thing that you can get to with a website can be treated as an application on your phone, which is really nice for easy access. So we get this indication that we can add it to home screen. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button. We get a notification up here that it's adding cityAQ. So now it's added to our home screen. So I'm going to go back now to the main landing page, and we'll see that I get this app icon. So now it's available as essentially an application on the phone, which was important to me, that you could easily access this and have it with those favorites as something that you can quickly open and quickly close, get the information that you need. So now when we open it, get a landing page acting like an application, even though this is still just a website that you can get to that way. And we can search here, same thing that I showed. So let's go back to Nairobi. And I'm going to, here on my phone, I'm going to mark it as a favorite. And I'm going to go home, get rid of the app, pretend that we're visiting it again new. So we open it up, we get the splash screen, and then because it's this application, it remembers our favorites. So we can always have that as a reference point, and we can easily view it. Okay, so I think the last thing that I want to talk about with this app is how it can function as an application even when you're offline. With a normal phone application that you download from the App Store, it can do things while you don't have internet access, like you can maybe access your settings or the most recently viewed pages. That's really important, especially in a lot of areas that OpenAQ is really focused on when they talk about air inequality. It's developing countries where often the internet connection or cell reception is really not that reliable, and you want people to still be able to learn and access the most recent information, even when they don't have internet connection. Let's take a look at how that works. We'll jump back into Chrome, so viewing this as a website. This is on my laptop. Here we have Nairobi, and we're going to add, let's add Shanghai, and let's add Delhi. Cool. So we've got our 3 cities that we're looking at. We got that information because we were online. But what happens if we lose internet connection? Can we still view that most recent information? Yes. Let's simulate that here by quickly going into airplane mode. So we take away our internet connection. Now, if we were to go to a new site, let's just try going to Google, it's going to tell us that there is no internet connection. So pretty much any website that you visit, Twitter's another one that I go to a lot, still no internet connection. But if I go here, and I'm on cityAQ and I refresh, because it's this progressive web app and it saves that information, we can still view everything that was the most recently accessed info, which is pretty awesome. Just to prove that, let's close out of it. Let's open a new tab. Let's go back to cityAQ. I'm just going to go to this direct link. And there we go. Still available offline. You'll notice it's only pulled up our favorite, right? Because Nairobi was the only one that we marked as a favorite. But because we've searched for Shanghai, we can still get the information for that one. The most recent information, we can tell that it was, retrieved very recently. If we want to search for a city that we haven't yet looked at, I lived in LA for a while, and I want to look at Los Angeles. It makes sense, right? Because we've never retrieved information for Los Angeles, that we wouldn't yet have it when we're offline. But we explain here, there's no information saved for it. However, it'll be loaded when connection is restored. So I say, got it. Let's say that now, I've gone back to my home or to a library or somewhere where there's reliable internet connection. So we're going to simulate that by putting ourselves back on. Turn off airplane mode. Connect to this Wi-Fi network. That we have internet again, we'll go to Google. Looks like internet's good there. Now we go here, and like I said, it was saved that we wanted to look at the Los Angeles information, so let's give it a refresh here now that we have internet again. And it's going to load city information, and there it is. It knows that we want to see information for Los Angeles, which is pretty cool. So that, I would say, is a summary of all the things right now that the app can do. And really quickly, I wanted to kind of make a request, or at least if you're interested in this kind of thing and you think so far the app is useful, I would love to hear what else you think could make it even better. So what can you do with that? First, I'm on the Open Air Quality Slack, which I think a lot of you have already been added to. I would love to hear from you there. You can just message me. It's at Jack Koppa, K-O-P-P-A. And then really easily is a website called GitHub. And I think you may have heard of it because this is where you can find all the OpenAQ projects. If you're interested in looking at cityAQ, this is where all the code is. So it's Jack Koppa /cityAQ. The application, very briefly, is built with Angular, which is a framework to make web applications. It has some summaries about how, if you're interested, you could get started working on it and running it locally and changing things. But most importantly, I think, is I'd love to hear from people about what they would find useful. And that can all be done under this Issues tab. So you can visit this, whether or not you have a GitHub account, you can see what these things are. And then once you sign into GitHub, it's pretty easy to create an account. There's a login option. You can click New Issue. And all I would love to see from people would be feature requests. What right now, after I went through that demo with you, what do you think would still be useful for this cityAQ app that would make you want to use it? And so you just click Get Started, and here I just say something like new way to view cities. And then I would love to hear any information you have here. You pretty much just type it as text. Any info you have about what you would find useful and how you think that could be done. And then I'd love to discuss with you there how we can make that work. If you happen to have any development background, then we can certainly work together on it. But regardless, I would love to hear from you what you would find useful. Besides that, which is kind of my small corner of expertise in how we work with OpenAQ data, I'm just really excited to see what comes out of these workshops. And any and all questions related to software, and especially UI things, or how you can develop websites or applications that use the OpenAQ data that's provided, I'd be happy to help with. And I wish everyone the best of luck. Please do reach out and really enjoy the conference. There are some great people involved with this organization. Thanks.